Diddy's lawyers have just filed a motion claiming that Diddy didn't have the mental capacity to commit the crimes that he is being accused of. Usher is getting ready to testify against this and is reportedly going to be subpoenaed to appear in the upcoming trial. This proves that after Cassie, more high-profile celebrities are going to testify in Diddy's trial. Not only that, but the judge has also denied Diddy's request to delay the trial. An essential piece of evidence is now being investigated, all of which could bring Diddy down to his knees. There's a lot to discuss, so let's break it down. According to Diddy's defense, what he's saying is that his mental capacity to commit the crimes while he was wasted is part of why he's saying, he should not be charged in these crimes. He even has a doctor who is lined up to testify. Now prosecutors have filed their opposition to this line of testimony. Basically, they're saying he has a mental condition bearing on the issue of guilt. So I don't know what he's trying to pull, right? Right, but which crime is she saying he did it? I guess what he's saying is the effects of the drugs and alcohol on his memory and cognitive function. They're saying his defense is trying to say because of that, he shouldn't be held liable for what happened. So I don't know. This should be interesting to see how this plays out. Prosecutors also want to block testimony of a forensic video expert that says that video was basically altered. That's which video? The Cass with Cassie. Yes. So the trial starts, by the way, in just a week. So we're getting ready for that to happen. Diddy's lawyers have realized that there's no way they can stop Diddy from going to jail now. So they're now trying to say that Diddy was too drunk to know that what he was doing was wrong according to court documents. A motion was filed by Diddy's attorneys on Sunday, April 27th, claiming that due to the effects of drugs and alcohol, Diddy's mental capacity was diminished. If this motion is accepted, Diddy would basically get away with everything. They'll all be attacked on cross-examination. Their character will be impugned. They will attack the victims for not coming forward until Cassie Ventura came forward. How do you fix that? You find an outcry. Witness? What is an outcry? Witness. An outcry witness is someone the victim told about at the time. So 10 years ago, I told you Sean Combs raped me at this party. I told you that then, but I never made a police report that adds credibility to the victim's statement. So a lot of victims are going to be attacked because they continued in a seemingly friendly relationship with Combs. A lot of women know that your boss makes advances on you. Unwanted, what do? Quit and starve. There's a lot of reasons women maintain a relationship with So we may lose credibility on a couple of witnesses, but the sheer number of them, I find it hard to believe that a jury will choose to disbelieve all of these ladies and choose to believe Sean Coates. But looks like they're going to try and say that Diddy's mental capacity could not make it possible for him to commit these crimes, claiming that maybe drugs or alcohol could have been at fault. Apparently, a couple of weeks ago, the prosecution offered Diddy a plea deal, which he turned down. We don't know the details of what that plea deal entailed, but he said he's not taking it. This is coming after they've added additional charges like the second superseding indictment. You know that Cassie video where you see Diddy dragging her in a hotel from 2016? The judge says that it can be included after Diddy's defense team had been trying to have it not included. So according to People magazine, they said prosecutors recently filed a motion disputing any testimony that might show that Sean Diddy Combs didn't have, quote, the mental capacity to commit the crimes he's accused of because of the effects of drugs or alcohol. The motion filed on April 27th references apparent testimony from a psychiatrist on behalf of the defense and asked the judge to prevent his testimony during Combs' trial. This motion came after 4 failed motions to suppress evidence or get rid of expert testimonies. Diddy's lawyers claimed that all of the freak-off tapes and baby oil recovered from Diddy's mansion were taken illegally and the search warrants weren't obtained legally. They wanted all of these tapes to be considered inadmissible. Judge Aaron Subramanian, however, declared all evidence that had been submitted as admissible. And now there's a good chance the freak-off tapes are going to be played in public now. Sean Diddy Combs looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial. Your investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron, and to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles, and Miami guns drawn the jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and prose charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freak-offs not coerced, as prosecutors allege this latest challenge to his case comes 3 months before trial, and as Combs loses one of his attorneys, Anthony Rico says, under no circumstances can he continue to represent Combs. Hefford no details about that decision. Robin. Okay, our thanks to you, Aaron. To make matters worse, Diddy's motion to get the tape of him beating Cassie removed from evidence has also been denied. First posted by CNN, the video footage showed Diddy violently beating Cassandra Ventura and then dragging her by the hair. Diddy's lawyers have tried multiple times to get this video removed from evidence, and they are now saying that this footage has been edited to make Diddy look worse. They say that the original tape is over 30 minutes long, and editing it to make it shorter makes it inadmissible. Combs wants that video. Video's excluded from trial. And for that, we turn to his motion in Lemonade to exclude video footage of that March 5, 2016 incident. Motion in Lemonade is a pretrial motion that aims at preventing evidence from coming into trial or limiting it in some way. And it starts by saying, quote, there is no longer any dispute that the CNN footage from March 5, 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel, offered by the government at 3 separate bail hearings, is wholly inaccurate, having been altered, manipulated, sped up, and edited to be out of sequence. Sorry. As indicated below, CNN paid redacted don't know who this person is redacted for footage, copied that footage in unknown ways, presented that footage out of order, and destroyed the original. Accordingly, all the footage from CNN is inaccurate and inadmissible. For the 2 items of footage filmed by an iPhone 6, those pieces of footage are inaccurate and admissible as well, for the reasons set out below. Oh, now, let's talk about the showdown in the courtroom over the bombshell video, allegedly showing Diddy Combs beating his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. Now Diddy's lawyers are arguing to exclude the footage from the rapper's upcoming sex trafficking. Legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joins us now with more on what this could mean for the high-profile case. So good to have you. Okay, so they want this video left out. What's their argument for this? So Mark Agnall, Sean Combs' attorney, is arguing that you probably hear this phrase, this is not a true and accurate representation of what the video depicts. He's saying a number of arguments that the CNN had taken this video and sped it up. They've kind of chopped it up into this montage. And it's not accurate. He's also making the allegation that the original video no longer exists. And so because this isn't accurate, the jury shouldn't see it. And according to Diddy's attorneys, because the original doesn't exist or it's been tampered with, no video such as this should be presented to the jury. So what does CNN is saying about these claims? So CNN has come out and said, we did not alter it, we did not change anything. And in fact, they're saying that they do have the original as well. So on multiple levels, Sean Combs' argument kind of falls flat, because if it is sped up, and I think there is some degree of its being sped up if the original still exists, that can still be used as evidence against Sean Combs, not necessarily to the allegations of trafficking, RICO conspiracy, or the transportational purpose of prosecution, but to show that this is a force that was used to keep victim number 1, how believed to be Cassie in this video, under his control for the purpose of trafficking and this RICO conspiracy. As we peel back the layers of this case, we see that the total number of victims could very well be in the thousands. The allegations implicated dozens of unidentified witnesses and alleged co-conspirators around the world. And some of the key witnesses to the supposed incidents are dead. Basically, meaning how can we defend against it? The defense is not even permitted to share the identities of the individuals described in the disclosure letter with Mr. Combs until April 18th, further hampering defense counsel's ability to investigate collectively. These new allegations require many months, if not years, to investigate, and if admitted, would require a series of many trials, certain to double the length of a trial the government originally said would last 3 weeks. So this is an explosive allegation that on its face, I don't know if I necessarily disagree with. If they're bringing in evidence of uncharged conduct, wouldn't the defense have an opportunity to investigate it and challenge it? It seems like they're making a point. So if this evidence is allowed in, there is a chance this could delay the trial significantly. We all know Comey wants to go to trial. But how can he properly defend himself against this in just a few weeks? This is the real reason that Diddy's lawyers quit. They realized that there was no way to win this trial, and they weren't willing to go down with Diddy in such a high-profile abuse case. The law firm Diddy has been with Grubman, Schur, Mizelos, and Sachs for over 20 years. Has also dropped him as a client. Diddy's lawyers saw the evidence and knew right away that Diddy was going to end up behind bars. Sean Diddy Comey's legal team is getting a little smaller as the rap mogul's defense team prepares for his May trial on sex trafficking charges. His attorney Anthony Rico respectfully but regrettably requested to be dismissed from his role, according to documents obtained by NBC News. Rico, who is one of 6 attorneys on the case, requested in the February 21st filing to withdraw as representation because, quote, "Under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Comey, consistent with the habeas standards for criminal justice." The motion continues, quote, "While I'm aware that the local rule requires that an application for withdrawal of counsel is supported and granted only upon a showing by affidavit or otherwise of satisfactory reasons for withdrawal, there are sufficient reasons related to the protections afforded by the attorney-client privilege for brevity in my application for withdrawal as counsel in this case." So the high-powered law firm of Grubman, Schur, Mizelos, and Sachs has dropped Comey as a client. Now, this is the firm of Alan Grubman, who is a very prominent entertainment lawyer that represents some very big names. The Weeknd, Madonna, Chris Brown, Paul, Simon, Usher, Bruce Springsteen. In fact, by the way, Alan Grubman was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He actually helped found that back in the 1980s, so gives you an idea about how big of a powerhouse this firm is. Now let's go back to Sean Comey. So the rumor circulating is that this firm did this because singer and actress Lady Gaga had threatened to leave the firm unless they parted ways with Comey. This is according to reporting by News Nation. And it's a big deal because the rapper and producer had apparently been with Grubman's firm for over 20 years. He was friends with Alan Grubman. By all accounts, Diddy's attorneys are now trying to delay the inevitable by postponing the trial after 3 more victims and 2 new charges were added in. A 3rd superseding indictment. Diddy's lawyers now claim that they need 2 more months to prepare for the trial. The trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Comey. A judge has denied his request to delay the proceedings, and that means jury selection could start in just weeks. ABC's Phil Lipoff is tracking this case. Good morning. Phil, yeah. Geo. Good morning. It looks like it's going to. Sean Combs' trial date is set to go on as expected Friday. A judge ruled Combs' criminal sex trafficking trial will begin next month as scheduled after he denied the defense's request for a 2-month adjournment. The trial is set to begin May 5th with jury selection. The judge said it was unclear why there isn't sufficient time to prepare, especially since 4 different law firms are now representing him. The judge agreed, however, to allow alleged victims to testify under pseudonyms. But one star witness, Diddy's ex Cassie Ventures, expected to testify under her own name. She filed, you'll remember, a quickly settled civil lawsuit against Comey. The judge agreed with a defense request to receive outtakes of interviews conducted for a documentary produced by Warner Brothers. Those interviews were conducted with potential trial witnesses. Comey appeared in Jailhouse Beige on Friday and was given a moment at the end of the hearing to communicate with his mother and one of his sons. He told them, "I love you and we're good." He has pleaded, we should mention, not guilty to 5 federal counts and maintained his innocence in the civil suit. Interestingly, a plea deal was offered to Diddy by the feds. The details of what was offered haven't been made public, but the fact that this deal was offered by the feds rather than the prosecutors means that there's a good chance Diddy was asked to snitch on someone he worked with. This person is most likely another record company executive, and I'm sure we can all guess who that is. And Caitlin, let's start with you. What happened or what has happened in court today? It was a pretty big day in court. Connell, we actually learned that Diddy was offered a plea deal in this case, which he rejected. Not really a surprise that when one was put on the table, he said, "No, he has vehemently maintained his innocence this entire time. I could not see a world where he would accept any kind of plea deal." So we heard that today, the other big takeaway from court, and we're in crunch time now. Just less than 2 weeks before this is going to start and go to trial, the now infamous video of Diddy and Cassie in that hotel room, where he is seen allegedly attacking her, will be played in court for jurors now. The original video, the original surveillance, doesn't exist anymore, so we have a copy that was obtained by CNN. So I take, sorry, obtained by CNN. Yes, and it was taken by a cell phone video. So you're going to have the person who took the video testifying in court and independent people there that are going to authenticate it. But the jury is going to see that the other types of evidence that they're going to see is going to be video of these alleged freak-offs, thesey sex parties that Diddy had. And this is going to be an important thing about jury selection. Interesting, we're going to talk about all that in a minute. Anything on his demeanor, anything on, from that, you picked that, what picked up from Diddy today, yeah. It was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad, paper, and his pen really intently, ready to just take notes, and he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today, and he visibly looked upset now about 10 minutes into the hearing. His son, Justin, did come in and sit in the gallery. Did he turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today, but you could really tell that. It impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face. Colonel Diddy also tried to spin this case to make it look like everything was about race. His lawyers claimed that the only reason that the prosecutors are coming after Diddy is because he's black. They're jealous of a successful black man, and that's why they're prosecuting him. In one, his lawyer, Mark Agnifo, made it very clear that race is going to be front and center. Let's switch our focus to the government, in my opinion. I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend, historically, of the successful black man. Okay. None, and they start making this case, in my opinion. ASA take-on of a successful black man. Here's a man who has made some of the most important businesses, owned by a black man run, owned, created, founded the vision, was that of a black man. What have we done? We have reduced him, not everyone, but a large amount of our society to being a monster that should make us shake in our boots. So, Mark Agnell, obviously white, yes. The co-consul is Tenny Garagas, white, and Mark Garagusher, dad, who we are told is going top play, a significant part in this case, Whitewell. And let's remember, you're going to have at least one witness and probably a parade of witnesses of black females who are going to claim that they were victimized by Diddy. And so in order to give sort of a human face to that, maybe suggest that that's not the case, that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're the jury is finding cues in every piece of evidence, but also who's representing him. And if they just have a bunch of white folks sort of defending him, all those black female alleged victims look like maybe going to look like they're being targeted by his high-priced legal team in the midst of all that has been going on. Sources close to Diddy have started to turn on him. Cassie Usher and Ashton Kutcher have all agreed to testify against Diddy in the upcoming trial. Rolling Stone has revealed that Cassie is victim 1 and stated she is the central figure in the case. Other alleged victims identified as victim 2, victim 3, and victim 4 will testify anonymously. Unlike Ventura, prosecutors have requested that exhibits revealing their identities be sealed to protect them from media attention and avoid undue embarrassment. I don't know if that's possible once you see that video of him putting his hands on Cassie Ventura, and for her to be the one to testify. And for her to be the one testifying on behalf of the prosecution, considering the fact that she was his lady, considering the fact that reportedly, she engaged in activities she otherwise would not have wanted to at the behest of him. When you consider some of the things that they're saying about him and the fact that your ex-girl, with all the evidence in the world to come at you, one with smiles, is willing to do so. For the prosecution, ladies and gentlemen, that's not good. All right, Cassie. She plans to testify against Diddy at the trial, and she's going to use her name, so a lot of the women who have accused Diddy, very anonymous, they're Jane Does or victim wife or John Does. But Cassie, allegedly, apparently, is going to take the stand and talk about her. Obviously, that tape of him beating her up at the hotel is what set off this whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, this has just made it matters so bad for Diddy. So now that she is going to sit up there and look him square in the eyes and talk about her side of the story, that's not great for Diddy, obviously, no. And I think also Cassie is a celebrity, right? Millennials know who she was, or is she had a booming career back in the day. So I think it also adds some extra when you have like a well-known public figure coming forward, trusted, public trusted, and beloved too. So I think that also will hurt him. She, of course, became public. All of this went public when that video came out from CNN. So it's been revealed who she is already, and now she is not looking to conceal her name. She wants to, put it all out on the table. And yeah, yikes, it could be really bad for him. The one person who Diddy could never have predicted would testify against him is Usher. Usher was sent to live with Diddy when he was just 13, and now video footage is coming out showing Usher at Diddy's freak-off party along with Kevin Hart in the video. Diddy can be clearly heard saying that he used to sleep with Usher when Usher was a child. How is this legal? And how could Usher's mom allow this to happen? Papa don't hit me no more kicking. The door waving. The for all you heard was Papa don't hit me no more. Let's go kicking the door waving. The boy, hey, yeah, and we want to thank you. Come here, don't sit on the bed or nothing. No homo, no, just don't get close to the bed, don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. Man, it's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, you did. No, I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to, first and foremost, I'm not getting the bag, shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can just, let's just put the camera little this way just so we're not, I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed at all. I should look. Like he fresh off goddamn plane. I fresh her off the garden stage. That's my brother, right? Hair from day one. We used to wake up and damn pause. But I mean back in the days when he was 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get him early with me. No, we one of the richest in the world. And did Puff just say nobody's going to acknowledge this? With him, Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes and we're streaming live. That looks stupid there, Salt. Of being around that man. Sean Puffy Compromise, I don't sleep to this day. I have a problem sleeping till this day. Yo, man, I'm here to work, man. I ain't saying in a week. I'm 13 years old. And I'm telling him, look, you going to put me in the studio, man. You got Biggie Smalls in there. You got Craig Mack in there. I'm not here to party with. You, I don't want to go to the clubs. Matter of fact, I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs? We would fight. We would tussle. Is in the house. Definitely, man. Say what up. Say what up. Doctor, say, what's up? Say what's up, say, what's up? Say what's up. Hello. Hey, yo, you know what? I get you, nephew. Yo, nephew, acting like that, bro. What's up, man? Hey, what's up? What's up? Get out of Hairman? Yeah, what's up? You been feeling good? And yeah, I've been feeling great, man. Considering all things, I think that, it's really important that we unite right now. I was just you. There's a lot of things that have happened over the last few weeks while living with Diddy. Usher was introduced to sex orgies, and at times Diddy even slept with him. Usher himself confirmed some of the other allegations in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine. I moved to New York City and I lived with Sean Puffy Compromise for a year. That's the crazy thing. Now that was Ellie Reed's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp. There you go to learn some neighbor camp, yeah. That's what it was called, and you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going to in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like? Puffy's place was just filled with chicks and orgying nonstop. Right? No, not really. But there. Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things. Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing? I went there to see lifestyle and I saw it and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild. When a body tried to, some woman didn't come along. I didn't say that. Okay, what I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it. Biggie Smalls was there. Biggie Smalls was there, Lil Kim Craig. Mac, all these people are hanging around. Yeah, man. Faith Evans, Joey Mary J. Blah. They ain't know nothing about this. Oh, I was having a good time. You know what I mean? Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? To keep you humble somewhat, or are you just can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party? I actually stayed up longer than them and what? And do you have money? What's going on? mean, I had like perm, I had like, a living. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. 14 years old, you're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to puffy camp? Hell nut. The abuse that Usher allegedly suffered at the hands of Diddy is connected to how he got exposed for spreading herpes in 2018. Back in 2018, Usher was sued for spreading herpes to 2 women, and 1 man eventually Usher paid $1 million to get the case dismissed. Court documents show that the woman who Usher paid claimed that she saw green goo oozing from Usher's penis about Usher. They were obtained by Radar Online, and apparently back in 2009 or 2010, he had contracted herpes and passed it on to a celebrity stylist having unprotected sex with her. He had to pay $1 million to that woman for severe emotional distress, and he also covered her medical bills. That case was settled back in 2012. Now, allegedly, there was a greenish discharge from his penis. Oh, that's a booger. Is that a booger? You go and get penis boogers? I didn't know, but he said he went to the doctor. He was cleared of any STD, so the women went on and continued. Now, if I notice a greenish discharge oozing out of his, exactly, this ain't Nickelodeon. I know that I slime. What you gonna say? I know all these kids playing with slime nowadays, but no, I don't care who you are. Okay, nothing. Green's supposed to be coming out, your penis not at all. That's not how this works. Yellow comes out. My penis and white during his time with Diddy, as accusations rumors began to flow that Diddy was sexually of her, and things had gotten so bad that at one point Usher even had to go to the hospital. Multiple former employees and industry insiders, including Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright, have claimed that disturbing incidents took place behind closed doors at Diddy's infamous parties, with Usher often being present. Despite his young age, I wish somebody would come out and just sue him. We need Usher's no. We do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him, because what I'm realizing is that he's going to fake the funk into the man. He's just going to keep on sucking the devils. And I don't know, with a baby, that pacifier, sometimes you got to pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the baby's used to sucking on the pacifier, that shy, going to keep sucking on, high, until you do what, see, take it out the mouth. Now it's going to scream and holler, and then but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object, and that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He'd been sucking on Diddy's a long time. I know, and people know that was around in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation, and that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that toy. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you? You gonna give him a pass with Usher stepping forward, damning video evidence being ruled admissible, and his legal team abandoning ship? It's clear Thistriel is spiraling into a full-blown disaster for one of hip-hop's biggest mogul. But this is bigger than just Diddy the testimony. The freak-off tapes, the attempted cover-ups they're pulling back, the curtain on an industry that's been untouchable for decades. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that like button to expose the truth, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next shocking update, because this case is far from over.